Welcome to another episode of last week's Comics Today. It's a pretty decent-sized week. There's a lot of good material in here, and I don't know how long this video is going to be because I feel like I'm just going to be gushing about all of this, so I'm going to try to keep it short. I'm super happy Dan Mora didn't jump off Once and Future for Batman. This is one of my favorite books, combination of both art and writing. It's phenomenal. Highly recommended. Stillwater issue 10. Stillwater was already a very good series, and this issue just takes everything great and sort of flips it on its head and sets up a whole new paradigm for where things are going. And it's, if you're not reading it, you really should be. It's phenomenal. As a series overall, Batman the Detective is just okay. It's not great. It is Tom Taylor, it's Kubert. I kind of expected better, but it's ultimately fine. I think this series in particular makes me think that you can't think of Batman as a character existing. Like, you can't take all of his continuity seriously, all of it, even just his current continuity. I'm not talking about the decades past, but just him as a character existing within a universe is hard to grasp just because of him spending so much time in stories just specifically in Gotham and then within the Justice League and then various miniseries. So in this he's in Europe, and it's talking about at one point all of his contacts at government agencies around the world, and you're just like, there's no way this guy has time for everything that's attributed to him. And I think you just have to sort of accept each, at least this is the way I'm doing it, I'm accepting each series as its own thing, and that's the only way that I can really accept Batman as a character, because he is otherwise just too much. My main problem with this series is the villains, and I just find them unbelievable. The Frontiersman, it's a weird cover, right? I mean, it's got the sort of Davy Crockett, Daniel Boone thing going on with a F on a t-shirt. Like, it's belts over the t-shirt. Like, there's a lot going on there. There is, however, well, first I should mention there's preview pages for this. That's where I got hooked. So the preview pages are really good. If you're unfamiliar, definitely check those out. However, there's an essay here at the back from the writer talking about how he wants to be Frontiersman to be the best superhero comic on the shelves, and he mentions a couple of books. So here we've got Invincible, Astro City, Black Hammer, and I'm probably not as familiar with Astro City as I should be, but Invincible and Black Hammer are two of my favorite universes, really. So Frontiersman, I think after I read the issue, and then after I read that essay, I'm like, this has Invincible potential. It is really good. And what I didn't realize at the time was I actually knew the writer from Patience, Conviction, Revenge, which is a great series as well. I might have to try some of these other ones as well, because Shoplifters, I know, was a recent book, and I didn't try it, and maybe I should have. I recommend it. Definitely check out those preview pages if you're unfamiliar. BABYTEETH, issue 20. It's the final issue. It starts, and I think it's been a while since the last issue came out, but it starts like this, and I'm going to move this just for a second because I've screwed this up twice already. And then later we jump to this. So it's a fantastic final issue. I was a big fan of this series. I think I was already a fan of Kate's before BABYTEETH started, and I'm really looking forward to whatever his next indie book is. I'm going to try the Hulk, see where it goes, but his indie stuff I'm a huge fan of. Guardians of the Galaxy is also a final issue. Now, I mentioned when talking about issue 17, the last Annihilation, that I was going to skip the tie-in issues. So that was Wakanda and somebody else. I don't remember. I didn't feel like I missed anything. There's one reference to Gamora sitting out a thing, and Doom being in her place, I'm just going to show you this because it is pretty ridiculous but also really cool. It's a good final issue. I don't fully understand why it's a final issue. It seems like everything's going well for the Guardians. They just reorganized the team in a big marketing push kind of way. I don't get it, but it's a good last issue. JONNA, this is issue, I think, 6. It's really quite good. After the last issue, I thought things were going to go a certain way, and instead we get an issue dedicated to her sister, and it is incredibly well done. It's just an incredible series overall. Highly recommended. Chew issue 8 explains some things, and if I were to discuss said things, then those would be spoilers, so I'm not going to. It is and continues to be a great series. Moon Knight issue 3, I am surprised, but I think I've become a Moon Knight fan, thanks to previous series from Ellis and Lemire, and now McKay. Jed's doing... This issue is basically a philosophical fist fight. It's really interesting. I'm enjoying it quite a bit, and the art is great. What surprises me is this is a McNiven cover, and I didn't think he had it in him. Like, it's a very different style, and I'm guessing it's because it's after Jay Lee, but it's a very good issue. I'm liking the series. Supergirl issue 4 ends with a claim that they are going to run into the god that they're after next, on the next planet that they go to. And I'm looking at it like, this is only issue 4 of 8. Like, either you're not really going to do that, or things are going to take a left turn. So, this issue's good. The series overall is quite good, but I think it's definitely written for the trade, because this is mostly kind of universe building, I'd say. They visit many planets. You see sort of the growing relationship between the two leads, and it's good. Just not a whole lot happens. It's an emotional journey, but still good ultimately. It's the last Ronin issue 4 of 5. In here we find out what happened to both Donatello and Splinter, and there's a few additional artists this time to illustrate the flashbacks. It's the main story was kind of a turn for me. So this is another series where it's been a while since the previous issue, and I just wasn't expecting the story that takes place in the present. But next issue should be the conclusion that I've been waiting for. And if for some reason you haven't been reading this, then definitely get the collection. There should be a hardcover coming, I believe, next June. They're already talking about that. So it should be very good. And you won't have to wait nearly as long as I did. Well, that's everything I read this week. As I've said multiple times, it was a very good week. There's a lot of good comics in here. If I had to pick one, I would say Stillwater is my book of the week. This just is so good. This issue in particular, but the series overall is excellent, and blew everything else away. I'm getting all of my comics from the local comic shop. If you would like to do the same and don't know where your local comic shop is, you can use this URL to find the one closest to you.